Yo, what up, guys? How we doing? So today's something a little different. It's gonna be Talking Wild, episode 1. Hopefully, I'll be doing this weekly. The idea of this is to kind of get the perspective of people, get to kind of know them on a different level, and yeah, something just a little different. It won't be exclusively Call of the Wild based. Uh, Definitely gonna be more like just a way to kind of get inside other people's minds, more or less. Also, I plan on doing this on a like I said, not just Call of the Wild base, but as well as like just in general discussions, random stuff, shit, sports, who knows, I'm gonna be doing these live on Twitch, but I'm gonna be posting them up on YouTube. So you guys will be able to kind of like, if you missed the podcast, you'll be able to catch up to it on YouTube. On that note, today, I got an alien. An actual alien. I'm not sure if he's going to be an alien or if he has his human skin on, but regardless, I have an alien. Today we're going to be interviewing Killing UFOs. So, real quick, I kind of have some questions kind of already written down, and then I have some questions that I'm sure I'll just ask that'll come willy-nilly improv on the fly. On that note, if I end up, say, like, not asking something that you want to know, at the end, you guys will have an opportunity to ask myself or him anything you would like, So, without further ado, let's get Killing UFOs in here. Now, before I start, I want to say this. As somebody who comes from console, playing Call of the Wild, kind of felt fitting to take another console player and talk to him first. So Killing UFOs was kind of an easy choice. It was like, man, I would love to get inside this guy's mind. He's kind of grinded well beyond anything I ever imagined possible on a console, and it's impressive. It's quite impressive. On that note, Killing UFOs has a TikTok, which you'll see that in a second, and you can follow him on twitch.tv/killing_UFOs. Get this man in here. This alien man. Yo. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's goody, my boy?
What's up, dude?
All right. So, are you going cameraless?
I am. I didn't even. I mean, I guess. Wait. Wait.
It's okay.
My laptop. I could.
It's okay if you're shy. I understand.
I mean, I didn't know I was gonna do it. I would have painted, but I can still set it up.
Set what up? We don't want to watch you paint yourself.
Camera.
Yeah, just
No,
put your
camera.
turn your camera on, man. Let these people see you for who you are.
Okay.
Look at this guy, all shy and stuff. Not even ready. No, I could set it up. You've known about this. This should have already been done.
Might have to switch the camera to. Let me see which one it picks. Let's see here. Video.
Look at this. What is this? Floating squares. He's not that much of an alien. We're not talking like third dimensional, We're talking like normal Mars type shit.
USB video device.
Regular Martian type shit.
There it is. There we go.
Hey! This guy, frozen ass screen. Let's go, baby. What's goody?
What is goody?
Yo. So,
Is
how
it
was your day,
frozen?
man? No, you're good. You're good. How was your day, man?
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything fun,
Got my
productive?
car. Yeah, I mean, got the car running again. You know,
Yeah, I know
just
that's
trying to
been
get
a
it running smoothly.
I know that's been an actual project for you.
You dude, months I've been working on the fucking thing piece by piece.
Hell yeah. So what do you get in the car running for, man? What do you got going on?
To go back to framing on Saturdays and Sunday or Fridays and Saturdays.
I would
Framing
assume
houses.
that with you framing Fridays and Saturdays, that would mean kind of an alteration to your stream schedule, no?
Mm, I mean, I was already taking like Saturdays off, like Saturday and Sunday. So I switched instead of because I was already like, well, I'd stream Saturdays and Sundays, but they'd be like, maybe like or like 4 to 6 hours or something, just because the family's home or like we'd have stuff going on. So the weekends were always kind of hit and miss. So instead of taking Saturday or Sunday off, now it'll be Friday and Saturday and stream Sunday through Thursday.
Hell yeah. That's what's up.
Stream will still be the priority, just slight adjustment, I guess.
Hell yeah. So, take the family. How many kids you got?
I have 3 kids, 2 that are home all the time, and then I have a son with another woman.
This little man whore out here having babies. This little man whore alien. Look at him. Look at whatever over here. Look at this guy. Did y'all even know he looked like this? Like, did you guys even realize
I
he
didn't know
looked
I was
like
doing
this?
video. I would have painted if I'd have known.
Listen. People need to see that you have, for I'm pretty sure probably that since you met me, been growing that beard out so that you can have one just like me, and you've done it. Good job. Congrats. Proud of you.
Hell yeah.
All right. 3 kids, going back to framing, switching up the schedule by a day. So nothing's really changing. You're still out here going to be grinding your fucking penis off.
Yes, sir.
On that note, what got you into streaming?
So in October, like this October will be a year. So last October, I was framing. The hours kind of started getting hit and miss. And I've always like thought about streaming. I've been watching Twitch for 3 years. That's when I made my account. It was like 3 years and some odd months. I was always like, man, dude, that'd be fucking the dream job, you know? And I was just always too scared to like take the leap. Well, the hours got cut, and I was like, fuck, what should I do? And I was like, fuck it, I'll just start streaming and see like what happens. If it fucking fails, and oh well, my hours are cut. So what am I losing? It was either that or look for a different job, and I didn't want to do that. So I started streaming. I started liking it, started figuring a little bit more out, and just dove headfirst into it.
Was it COVID that got the hours cut?
I mean, some of it because it was towards the like back. The government wasn't shut down anymore. Um, but houses were like selling like hotcakes, and I think that was affecting. And then the price of wood and lumber and shit was going through the roof, and I think that kind of affected the company that we build it for. Like it was a company I worked for that was contracted through Lennar, which is the company that builds the houses. And I think it affected them, so they slowed down on the process of building. You know what I mean? Um, and
Of
that's the thing
course.
with construction. Your hours go up and down. That's how it is.
Yeah, I did construction in a lot of construction in Michigan, and it's very, very seasonal.
Right. Even union, they work usually the warmer months, and then they get laid off for the winter. I framed all year round, so we never had like a layoff period, and that's how framing is. And concrete does that too. They do that all year round if it's set up right.
Right. Yeah, I've never done framing, and I'm definitely way too small for concrete. That's definitely not in the that's not in the play. That's not it. Um, so how long ago would you say you started streaming?
I started, um, I started. I think I did my first like actual stream at the end of September, and then I started streaming daily at the beginning of October, like every day.
All right, before I conclude this about you section, is there anything you want to add that maybe somebody doesn't know about you? Like, what's your favorite food? What do Martians even
Ramen's
eat?
up there, dude.
Ramen?
Ramen.
Yeah, this
Ramen.
man
Yeah,
is.
Chinese food is probably right there, and I think that's why I like ramen so much. But anybody that watches the stream, they know I fucking talk about ramen all the time. I
What's your
love
favorite
ramen.
ramen?
It's so unhealthy.
What's your favorite?
Chicken. I stick with chicken all the
Chicken.
time. All the time.
When I was a kid, I was a big shrimp kid.
Oh yeah, shrimp. I mean, they're
Killing
all
the
good
shrimp.
except for like, when they made like the tomato ones and the creamy chicken ones, they went a little far with it. But all of them are pretty good. But the chicken one, you drain out the broth or the water, throw the seasoning in and some sriracha and a little bit of butter, and it's fucking fire, dude. So good.
Also,
So
you
unhealthy.
drink insane amounts of Red Bull.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
keep in
like Red
mind,
Bull too.
this isn't a sponsorship, but, I drink Red Bull. This man drinks insane amounts. What triggers this? Is there like a redeem, or how does
Yeah,
this
there's a
thing work?
redemption for shotgun or Red Bull, and it's just 1 point. At first, I had it a little higher, but sometimes I run out of Red Bull, somebody redeems it, and it's like, okay, I got to refund the points. So now we've made it 1 point. That way, because it's something I like, so why should it cost somebody else anything?
Right.
And then it's on a timer, and yeah, that's it. With shotgun or
So
Red
I
Bull,
would
then I don't
say
drink as many anymore. But
you've probably drinking every Red Bull under the sun.
yeah, I drink a lot of Red Bull. That's my caffeine intake. And I like other energy drinks, but I don't like carbonation. So like Monsters, I'll open a can of Monster, it'll take me all day to drink it. Um and Red Bulls, they're lightly carbonated and I fucking love them. And they're low in caffeine. So I can drink a lot of them without fucking having a heart attack.
I literally
You
just
know,
got put on to Red Bull, and it's surprisingly way better than I ever imagined. Low key.
it's like the champagne of energy drinks.
Okay, let's not
You
get
know what I
carried
mean?
away, okay? Green Monster still, it's
It's
still
like the
daddy.
Cristal of energy drinks,
All
bro.
right,
Cristal,
now
man.
he's talking crazy. What's your favorite Red Bull?
Original. But the strawberry apricot one is the only flavor they've made that is a close second. But otherwise, original's been it forever.
So, do
They
you
did it
ever
right the
like
first time.
you stream about? I'd say you stream anywhere from like you stream a lot of hours. Real talk.
Yeah, I
Um,
average about 300 hours a month.
that's really impressive, actually. That's
Yeah.
literally right there with what I would be doing. And I do it at a rate that's ridiculous, and you're still keeping up. That's very
Yeah.
impressive.
I'm
I
consistent
mean,
with like 10 hours a
some
day.
would say it's because you don't have any obligations that you're able to stream for 300 hours in a month.
Right.
Ironically enough, my man's is married with children, like the TV show.
Yeah,
After
doing
doing
my
these,
own car work and
yeah, after doing all these crazy ass long streams, do you ever find yourself not intaking enough water?
oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That is one thing I never understood. I was like, man, I drink water all the time. I fucking love water. Dude, when you're streaming and like even just playing video games, if you're just at home playing video games, just pay attention to it. You play video games for 10 hours, I bet you take a drink once or twice.
No, you're not wrong.
You
And I
just
found
zoom
myself
right through it.
not drinking water all the time. I'll just be like,
Yeah.
if it's coffee, it's coffee. If it's Coke, it's Coke. If it's whatever it is, it's definitely not water. And then recently, like, chat's been giving me shit and being like, intake water, and it's been pretty helpful. Like, it definitely has made my body feel insurmountably better. But yo, when you go take a piss, do you ever is it ever so dark you're just like, yo, this is clearly Red Bull coming out of my dick?
Not really, but actually like caffeine, if I intake a lot of caffeine, my piss is crystal clear. I don't know why that is.
Because you're a fucking alien. Duh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then after a while, I think after the caffeine leaves my body, because it's a whatever you call it, a diuretic or whatever. After that caffeine leaves my body, then it'll get gold. Yeah.
All right, so I have like a direction, more or less. You guys could see it in the topics and stuff, but in reality, it's more or less just a discussion. So we'll just kind of like, where the conversation goes, it goes. It is what it is. So check this out.
Oh yeah.
You said you got into streaming because of, the cut of hours, probably COVID bullshit, and you have a family, so you got to make ends meet one way or another.
Right.
But with streaming, I'm sure you've realized, and like most people who try to just pick it up and do it, it's not easy,
No,
it's
not.
easy to turn on your game and your camera and say I'm streaming, but it's hard to grow a community, and you've grown an amazing community in an amazingly fast time, as you have self-proclaimed the most cracked community on all of Twitch.
And that is facts for
That
everybody that's in here, that's in the Alien Nation. You guys already know it, dude.
that is definitely FAX. I'm fucking with you. Definitely have a really amazing community. And to see like where you started from to like where you are is incredible. So on that note, like, what would you attest like the growth of your community and where you like, how'd you get to where you are?
I think I started off pretty roughly. I mean, so I started streaming not knowing what to do. I started in Apex for like my first couple days, and I knew that it was too saturated to play, and that was my game of choice for 2.5 years at that time. I never played anything else. Once Apex launched, it was Apex. But that game is very, 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 very hard. I don't care. You could be, unless you're a pro gamer, you're not getting exposure there. It's really, really, really hard. So then I started bouncing around. Back for Blood launched. I went over to Back for Blood, but that's a mission-based game. It's multiplayer, but it's a beginning and an end. So with the beginning comes an end.
True.
So I had to switch off of that, and I ended up on Dead by Daylight, and all of that was like within the first couple weeks. And I found myself in a decent like little group of people in Dead by Daylight, and they fucking pushed me to affiliate really, really, really quickly. Because I ended up, bouncing around there, and I ended up affiliate after the 1 month mark of streaming, thanks to them. Thanks to them helping me out with raids and just the exposure. And Dead by Daylight, if for anybody that doesn't know, Dead by Daylight maintains 20 to 40,000 viewers with a low streamer count. It's an extremely effective spot to start streaming. Um, but it's PvP, so it's got toxicity and all that stuff. I don't think I think Call of the Wild is much better game probably to start streaming in because the communities, you know, they look out for everybody. I feel like in some aspects.
No, absolutely. I think that this is a, as far as my experience, I'd say this is probably the most welcoming community I've ever been a part of. And, they find new players and they're just like, let me mansplain how you're supposed to play the game, And
Mhm.
at the same, like in one sense, it's like, let me learn. In another sense, it's like, oh shit, well, thanks, Like it's hard to say no, You can't just deny somebody who comes in and gives you some knowledge. That's kind of how I started.
Yep.
With Call of the Wild, I was just running around shooting everything, like looking lost, like all these guys on Way of the Hunter look right now. Um, and then a legend appeared in my chat, a Mr. Legend, and he introduced me to his beautiful wife, Lady Legend. And from there, I discovered her YouTube, and obviously, I copious amounts of hours taking a shit, watching her videos, and I learned about grinding and species and everything like in and out. I would start, I want to play this map. I'd go watch a video on how to play that map. I would imagine it was something similar for you.
Yeah. So I same as you watched Lady Legends YouTube on the Red Deer Great ones. I was just running around shooting elk with the 243 and then chasing blood trails and shooting them and chasing blood trails and shooting them, being an idiot. I didn't fucking know. I don't hunt real life, so I didn't know any different.
Same.
But I found her videos and I was like, oh, I want to go after one of those. So I was doing the grind, and I remember one person came in and I was picking up all my bodies because I saw the same YouTube video that everybody sees and seems to think that it's true. I was picking up my bodies and I was like, well, if I don't pick them up, they respawn as the same animal. And this guy's like, no, that's not how it works. He's like, if you leave them on the ground, it's much quicker. So then that's when that started to change, and I started to improve from there.
So
But that was the same time you were doing your grind, because that's when I started hanging out in your stream.
that's
You
true.
know?
That's very true. You went straight into the grind though. Like you're a different
Yeah.
animal than me. I was still, running around with training wheels for the longest. How many followers are you at right now?
Um. Here, let me. So before coming to Call of the Wild, I was at like three something, 350, 400, mainly from Dead by Daylight, a couple from Back for Blood, but the rest of it, which is over 1,000 followers, have come from Call of the Wild.
So you're roughly 1,400 followers.
Yeah, I'm just over 1,400. I don't know the exact number, but just over it.
What's incredible is you're at 1,400. You average 40 plus viewers almost every time you go live. Um,
Yeah.
it's interesting how like somebody might think, well, that's a lot of followers and not a lot of viewers, but in reality, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Even like a
Yeah.
ninja with millions will still only pull uh 10, 15, 20,000 of them, which is an incredible number at the end of the day. But even when he was at his peak at 150,000 viewers, he still had a million followers. You're never going to have the amount of viewers as you do followers. But the fact
No.
that you have that many interested people,
Right.
I literally kind of relate this to what we were talking about earlier is you're unique. You're a unicorn amongst us all, where we all come out here as humans. You have decided to be an alien and literally paint yourself green, do your thing. You know, you're grinding just as hard as literally anyone else, and yet you have the dedication to wake up, prepare yourself for your stream, get yourself painted up, and get ready to go out with whatever your goals may be in the game. And with that being said, let's talk about that. So, real quick, what are your goals with Twitch? Like, what do you hope to achieve? Would you like to at some
Um,
point maybe get like full time? Like, what are you trying to do here?
yeah, so I mean, so I'm still gonna maintain like full-time streaming. A huge goal is to just keep trying to learn tech stuff. So like when I started streaming, I had never used a laptop, never used a keyboard, um, or computer or any of that stuff. Like I've used my phone. My very first phone was when I was 18 years old. It was a Motorola Razr. And out of all the phones I've had over the years, the majority of them were flip phones. I've had maybe three smartphones. So like
Oh my god.
that is the part that I struggle with the most is the tech part of it, and I need to keep progressing in that. Like I can't edit, I can't. It took me the other day. I downloaded that DaVinci, and I drug all my videos from the File Explorer into the DaVinci, and then I realized that I could have like done that all at one time. Instead, I drug each file separately, each because it's all the Great One clips, and I was gonna do like a
Oh
montage.
my
Well, I
god.
I drug each file separately into the DaVinci Resolve when I could have highlighted each one and then drug them all at the same time, and I didn't realize that till after I was done.
You
So
found
it's
the
stuff like that, like,
you found
I
the
need to
shortcut key to highlight, right?
yeah. So and I didn't realize that. So that is like the biggest goal is like trying to continue to progress with like the tech part of things. And then as far as like Twitch, a few months ago, just with where I was sitting, I made a goal and announced it to everybody in the stream that like hitting partner at like 1 year of affiliate. So that would be November, which I think I'll be just shy, but that's a goal. And I tend to set my goals a little bit high, and that's where what we're shooting for
Yeah, aim for the stars, man.
right now.
Aim for the stars and crash into a moon, you know? Real
Right,
shit.
right, right. You
That's
know, if you set them
the way
high
it
and you
is.
fail it, you usually get better results than setting them low and passing it. You know what I mean?
Facts. Easy goals. No, that ain't it.
Right.
Definitely having like a direction in in what you're trying to do, whether it be in life or work, in streaming. Like some people won't consider streaming a job or whatever. To them, I say go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Um, actually, because streaming has changed my life. Um,
Right.
so with that being said, talk some Call of the Wild real quick. You feel me? All right. So
Hell yes, sir.
how many great ones you got?
24 killed and taxied. But I did lose one out of my lodge, so I technically have 23 in the codex and 23 in the lodge, but I shot it live. I have the clip on TikTok, and I was live when we found it gone out of my lodge, so I still count that one to this day. So 20,
Perfect.
24.
Perfectly fine. How many diamonds you at?
I'm not sure. We're gonna be pushing like over 1,000 on Monday. I'm probably between 800 and 900. Over
Okay.
800, less than 9.
How many different species diamonds do you have?
Um, I don't know. I've
Guesstimate.
got to have mm, at least 20, probably less than 30, somewhere in there.
Okay. let's now go into this. What is your goals for your grinds? Because you insurmountably have made great ones not great by a fucking mile. It's probably not even exciting to you anymore. Oh, hey guys, there's a great one on the map. Yep,
Yeah,
we're gonna shoot it.
I stopped losing the edge and like the shake and the excitement at the Great One number 6, which is the one that deleted from my lodge, surprisingly. That is the last one that I got nervous for. I even shot one with the shotgun. It was like 21 or 20. No, yeah, it was 21. It was a whitetail, 160 meters, with a 16 gauge slug with no scope.
That's
160
impressive.
meters, yeah.
That's actually quite impressive. So what would you say like your goals would be like to get every species to just continue to just fucking mangle all
Well,
these great ones?
right now I'm trying to get the super rares on red deer, and if that ever happens, 800 fucking dime red deer, or 700 and some dime red deer, and not a single super rare yet. But hopefully, if I can get the 3 super rares from red deer, I'm gonna switch over to whitetail and do the same thing with the whitetail for the super rares. So I'm gonna grind the great one grinds, but for the super rares,
Okay.
and the great ones will come along the way.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. That's I always say that one feeds the other. You want great ones, you go I mean, you want diamonds, you go for great ones and they will lead
Right,
to just insurmountable diamonds. Even
right.
rares same thing. So on that note, you have created a method in your great one grinds. Like you are popping them fast, very
Yep.
fast. What would you say you're doing that's different than anyone else?
Well, first off, if I'm specifically hunting great ones, I don't manage for diamonds. Diamonds don't produce great ones, at least not for me, and I've shot quite a few of them. Not that they can't, but somebody can get 300 diamond red deer and not shoot a great one, and somebody else can get 0 diamond red deer and shoot a great one. So doing all the herd management and moving this and moving that, and I never got into any of that because it's a waste of time as far as going for a great one. Now, that will affect you getting a super rare because you're going to get less dimes. But if you're focusing great ones, you can cut that time down by a lot. Some people spend 2, 3, 4 days managing their map, and I could already have a great one, maybe even 2 by then, at least before the update.
Right. Do
And not
you
with bears. Bears are much slower, but
bef- before update or whatever the case is, did you did you leave a great one on your map to produce a great one?
yeah, so with red deer and it works with black bears as well, as far as I can see now. But yeah, before the update, me and Zombie Man, Zombie Mixin is what the text to speech will say.
Facts.
But
Zombie
um,
MXN built
yeah,
Diffie.
we started. Me and Zombie, we've kind of always bounced our red deer grinds off of each other, and he's on a different platform, so it makes it extremely like notable because we're running 2 different platforms, running the same grinds and getting the
Yep.
same results. So we
Yeah.
both stacked our red deer, um, and we did 9 of them between the 2 of us. And the average kills per great one was 1,000 or less with 1 on the map, where the average without the 1 on the map was double that.
I actually did the math for Zombie. It came out to about 1,200 kills. Sometimes you'd get them in 600, sometimes you'd get them in 18, whatever. But it never seemed to
18 was mine. It
go.
was the longest one out of 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't seem to go too far. Like me, even 2,000's really not a lot of kills. It's really
No.
not.
Yeah.
You could plow down that many, especially red deer, easily in a day. In a good grind day,
Right.
easy.
And
Recently, go ahead.
the way it looked to me was like whatever when you stack the red deer, whatever your grind was going to be, it was like it cut that in half. So like the longest one we had out of 9 was mine, and it was 1,800 kills. And to me, it almost looked like had I not had 1 on the map, that would have been 3,600 kills. Now I know that's more like superstition because it's probably not a determined number of kills before you start,
Well,
but
some would say it's
that's what it.
RNG.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's I mean it is, but RNG is pretty like every game has this RNG, right? And
Yes,
true
of course.
RNG is like you never know. But most games RNG is predictable. And if it's a random, why is it so predictable? Apex's
Exactly.
ground loot, it's predictable.
Hmm.
Even though it's RNG, you can land at a hotspot and usually come out with good loot right out the gate 9 times out of 10 if you don't get killed.
Well, naturally. Also, if you don't die in Apex, you win the game, even if you have no
Well, right. I
kills.
mean, just like killed off drop. Like, let's say you on World's Edge, you know, that center building that everybody goes to that's broken in half on the town on
Mm-hmm.
fragments or whatever. If you landed there by yourself, just nobody ever landed there. 9 times out of 10, you could land in that little ass building with 3 people and come out kitted. And that's where like I think RNG is like more predictable than people think. You know, it's not. There is some games out there like Cap One Eye. He was talking about a game that's like somebody could get it on the first try and somebody could never ever ever see it, and it's like that's like true RNG. Where like
Well,
the Call of the Wild is like a spawn rate.
well, here's the thing about like RNG, in my opinion, is RNG is no different than say like some form of like math, if you will, and
Right.
you can always shortcut math, no matter how you want to, say you can't. You
Yep.
can. Some people are also capable of just doing the most difficult math equations in their head. So,
Right.
like, what RNG is ultimately, I'm just gonna say this: like, when I first came to Call of the Wild, uh, my fascination with this great one was mythical at the time. Like, oh my god, it's this crazy thing that I'm probably never gonna get. And somebody came and told me that EW says that I think they said 1% of players, I believe it was, will ever get a single great one. And
If you Google it, that's what Google will say as well.
yeah, so I did. That's what I was gonna say. Is like I did research it, and it turned out that his numbers were actually not wrong. So, he used to be an active viewer of mine, and when I started my Great One grind, he said that he was greatly disappointed in me, and that he wanted me to run and gun or run around and shoot things, and that I would probably never get a Great One. Well, I did my first Great One grind, and you were there, and it took me a long time to get one. And then the second one literally came free as pie, like literally the very next day. Same thing
Right.
happened again on PC, actually. So the irony to it is he wasn't wrong, and they're not wrong. 1% will. If that 1% is people that don't grind,
Right. They're talking about the run and gun
yeah.
percentage. Yeah. They're not
If you,
talking about the people that are actually out there trying to get a great one,
right,
you know.
right. So it's kind of crazy to me that that when people bring up these numbers and it's been data mined and RNG and blah 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 blah. It's interesting to me because I'm like, yo, well, the irony here is that you're not even supposed to have a great one, technically, by the
Right.
standards of their 1%. But yet, I pretty much don't really know very many people who don't have great ones at this point, and people who haven't looked at different methods, yours, ladies, iBuys, now zombie come up and coming, like people are see these
Yours.
grinds, it's a little different. I'm the red deer guy, like that's me.
The grind is a grind. You mean you produced a black bear? I don't have a black bear yet.
Yeah, but you don't grind black bear. You
I
just
do.
do
I
for
do.
money.
I just the other day we shot him. I mean, I'm not grinding him every day, but I get bored with the black bear. I think, and I think part of that is just the grind with the red deer and the super rares, and I think that's where my mind is sitting. You know.
Well, here's where my mind's sitting with the RNG thing. For those that think that the RNG factor is the only reason, deterring or anything, or it's not possible because RNG, data mine numbers, blah, 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 I say this: stop making excuses, especially when people are producing results. Just let it happen. It is what it is, like there's obviously a shortcut and it works. You did it with great ones. I do it with rare furs. The irony to
Right.
it is I told Zombie, yo, trip out. You need a super rare. When you want diamonds, you leave a diamond on the map. You want great ones, you leave a great one on the map. You want rares, you leave a rare on the map. So why don't you leave a diamond and why don't you leave a rare always on your map and see what happens? And he literally messages me like a day later and he goes, yo, that rare shit actually works. I'm popping rares like crazy. Then all of a
Right.
sudden his rare started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, he pops
Now
that
he's got
he pops that 8 Mithy rare, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
ooh, he's feeling it. And then he hits that super rare. And then what? A day later or something like that, not even long, he second super rare. Now he's got three super rares in less than a week.
Yeah,
It's RNG.
I feel like it was less than a few days.
It was. That's what I'm
I think he
saying.
got the one super rare. Oh yeah, you're right. And it was like yeah, it was like, almost a week later he got the other two back to back.
I say that because like it's hard to determine it like this. Like I could say it was a week, but how many of those days did he not stream because he was working or whatever the
That's
case is,
exactly
you
it.
know?
Right, right. Yeah, it was like, hours wise is fucking
Yeah, it's insane. So he pops these 3 super rares within a week, and it's obvious he has a method and it's working. So
right.
we can sit here and say, "Oh, it's just his RNG." Well, if it goes based off just his RNG, in his RNG, he popped fucking 12, 13 great ones and didn't once produce a super rare, but soon as he goes for super rare and starts using diamond rare methods, all of a sudden, boom, 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 he went from
Right.
having none to 3.
Right, right.
So obviously it fucking works. So I hate when I hear people discredit or do the whole, I'm going to pull up numbers and say I'm smarter than you shit. Like, listen, sometimes even the greatest of minds are too smart for their own good.
Yeah, I tell everybody all the time, like, there might be something that I'm not doing that somebody else is doing or that they're doing that they ask me if they should be doing that. And I tell them all the time, like, maybe it's not something that I'm doing, but if it's something that you think is benefiting you or you don't know if it's going to benefit you, you're never going to know till you do it yourself. Like,
Exactly.
and that's the only way that you're going to find out by basing it off of somebody's opinion. That's not going to do nothing for your game and how everybody's map works a little bit differently. So what works for me might not work for somebody else, and what works for them might be the opposite of what I'm doing.
All right,
But you're not
so
going to figure that out if you don't try it.
a little bit off topic, but still Call of the Wild. What was your first harvest outside of the fucking latent free deer? What was your first harvest? Your first animal?
My first animal. I'm trying to think. I don't even know. It might have been. Trying to think of what map I played because I never played much late, and I started on Hirsch, but I don't even know if I killed anything on Hirsch. I feel like I did. Um, it probably was a red deer or a
M-
fallow off
Mine
of
was for
Hirsch.
sure a whitetail, and I shot it directly in the face. And
Really?
everybody was like, "Yo, you're not supposed to shoot him in the head." Yo, real quick, these are the questions that I've prepared for my mans here, and I haven't read a single one of them. So this book can just go fuck itself.
Right, right. Better to be prepared and not need it than not be prepared and
True,
need it.
and it also doesn't hurt to also just be, entertaining and somewhat clever, and be able to improv.
Right.
So
Right.
here, that it was Hirsch was your first map.
Yep. And then I bought Silver Ridge Peaks right away and the M1.
There it is. All right, so what got you hooked? Okay, you didn't just buy an M1 in Silver Ridge for shits and giggles. What made you say, I'm going to put money into this game and I'm going to play it? Like something like when you first came, you ran around goofy like everyone else, but what hooked you?
Well, it was challenging to find animals in the beginning. I couldn't find shit on Hirsch. So that's when I went on Twitch and it was he doesn't I don't see him on Twitch anymore, but he was on all the time. I can't think of his fucking name now. Sometimes he played CS:GO. Can't think of it, dude. But I went and asked him like, what should I do? And when I started on Silver Ridge Peaks and I saw my first elk, that's what got me hooked. And I was just shooting them fuckers with whatever I had, the 243, the M1, and I didn't know that there was like you were supposed to use certain weapons. So I was just using whatever I had. And I never liked the M1, so then I like used the 243 most of the time. But that's the elk is what got me hooked. As far as like I kept on playing it, but I don't think if it wasn't for the red like the grinds, the Great One grinds, I don't think I would have kept playing Call of the Wild. Like I don't think I would have played it every day as hard as I do now.
That's crazy because like when you first started, you literally went straight into grinding, like literally straight into it, which I
Yeah,
thought.
I played for, like, a few days, like, as I played, like, 1 day on Hirsch, and then I was like, "God, this is fucking hard, like, what," maybe I need to do something, so then I started watching on Twitch and asking, some people some questions, and then I got Silver Ridge Peaks and the Smoking Barrels pack, and then I was like, "Okay, okay, so it's just you gotta buy some of the shit to have some fun, okay." So then after I got them, it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days later, I saw the Red Deer grinds, and I got the whole shebang, everything, and started going at Quattro really, really hard.
Quattro was your go-to out the
Yeah,
box.
Quattro was I love Quattro to this
Wait,
day.
was
I think
Quattro
Steel
the
War is
first?
broken.
Wait, I thought you set up Rancho first.
No, no, no. Red Deer was my first great one.
Okay. Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
you
yeah,
were
we were
able to
doing our
help.
grind together. That was
Yes.
my first grind when you were doing your first
Yes,
grind, and we were both
exactly.
doing Red Deer.
And you actually helped me like figure out and tweak why my deer were acting weird and like showed me some extra zones that I had not discovered at that point because
Yeah,
I believe you had started your grind a little bit
few
before
days
me.
before you.
Yeah, and
Yep,
you'd said
yep.
like I'm still kind of learning blah 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 and you like came and helped me out. And it was kind of funny cuz like we both started playing around the same time, both on PlayStation as well. We were running shit on console, baby.
Right?
I just
Hell
left the
yeah.
crown for you, bro. I just was like, you know what? You got this, dude. Go
I
crazy.
still had that little shitter name, that fucking the killing you foes with the E's. Everybody botched
Yes.
that name, dude, and it fucking I still can't that's the best story I've got for streaming to this day, dude. The whole name change turned into what it is now, you
Yeah,
know?
it's crazy. You've created an
Fucking
entire
mind blowing.
brand behind it, which is
Yeah.
fucking absolutely insane.
One mistake becomes uh, you know, what it is now, you
Yeah,
know?
it's definitely not a mistake in the end, you know?
Right, that's what just it, you know what I mean? Like yeah.
Yo,
It's insane.
so
That shit blows my mind.
this is where it's going to get a little dicey. We're going to start with the less dicey, and I'm going to kind of polish it off with the, you know? What are the
Yes,
things
sir.
that you would say that you like about Call of the Wild in its current state?
Mm, well, I like that the great ones are seeming to be a little bit more of a struggle to get, but I think a lot of that is because we don't really know what has changed.
I think it was something
Or
subliminal.
if something's scuffed or whatever, they say everything's working properly, but I had spawned two great ones off of the same grind, but now it's like fucking it's weird, you know what I mean? So it's I don't
Absolutely.
know, it's but I do like that they're not as easy to get. Because I feel like I was losing some of now, like when I get my next Red Deer Great one, it's gonna be like, damn, dude, that's fucking 9,000 kills, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. Where before it was every 1,500. So I do like that it's a little bit more of a challenging grind. Um, I like the new map. I think they did good with the birds.
Yes, Reventuli is amazing.
And I feel like that's where their downfall was gonna be was the birds. They pushed that update out too soon. Um, and I thought the birds were gonna be fucked, but it was other things.
All right, so with that being said, you mow down your diamonds, well, I would say your great ones typically with the 303, right?
No, I've never shot a great one with the same weapon twice. Never, not once.
Okay, but
I've used it.
you don't use the 308.
No, so I used the 308 for a while, but I switched back to the 303 after the update because I like
Right.
the 303 better.
What it,
308's more flashy though.
the 308 is the second most powerful weapon in the game, hands down. It's not close.
When it's consistent, yeah, it is really good. But it has inconsistencies, and that's where I don't like it.
Its penetration and its expansion are
When it
comparable to a
works,
300.
when the bullet doesn't stop on their chest,
I mean, listen, we're going to get to that in a second. All right, look. Real talk. That's something that's kind of newer, the modern weapons pack, which I think was an incredible addition to the game while
Yeah,
also being the biggest flop and disappointment in an investment because realistically you're buying one gun. The other
right, right.
weapons are actually useless and
And then
need
they come out with a new
buff
ammo for a gun that didn't need it,
backs.
and they can't fix the ammo for the fucking gun that does need it, you
Well,
know?
shit, he just jumped right into it. Fuck it. Let's get into dislikes, you know? What don't we like? So fuck
Oh
this ammo
man.
type. Let's start there. Fuck this ammo
Well,
type.
one more like for the Call of the Wild, dude. I'll
All
tell
right.
this to every single person that is a part of the Call of the Wild community. Not my community, not NTAG's, but a part of Call of the Wild's community. The community that follows Call of the Wild is what makes that game. If the people that are in Call of the Wild's community right now weren't there, this game would have died 6 years ago. And
True.
I don't even think it had launched then.
Well, that's
Um,
kind of yeah, that's actually spot on. Real talk.
yeah.
Spot the
Um,
fuck on.
yeah, it's the community that makes it a much easier game to play, you know, because there's a lot of shit that fucking irritates me about this game.
Well, I'm surprised that when I asked you things that you liked, one of those things wasn't upgraded fur type. A,
Yeah, the harvest screens look better.
the
Yeah, but I'm
harvest
on
screen,
console, so I don't notice that as much as like you
and
guys do. It does look better, but
he says he's on console and doesn't point out that they had a weapon wheel, which I see him actively using.
I do use it, and it's glitchy as fuck, and that
Yes.
pisses me off.
Ah,
So
we're
like
back to
sometimes I
dislikes.
can't swap weapons, you know, or it fucking you know, this was a glitch that was before where like you weren't able to pull nothing out. You'd have to switch to camera, switch out of camera, and then you'd get your stuff back. Well, now with the weapon wheel, that happens constantly, or it's like I can't swap weapons, and it's like when you're mid shooting and you rely on it, then it's a pain in the ass. But it is if they buffer some of that stuff out, it is much faster for console, for controller, you know.
Fair enough. Yo, but you want to know what's really fucked up? Because I feel like the like list is about to be a lot shorter than, say, the dislike list.
Yeah, the community, I'm
It's
telling you, that's what holds that fucking the game together as a whole.
before I get into dislikes and the irony you say that, you've said it now twice. I gotta bring this up. Every game has a shelf life. It's point A to point question mark. You don't know what it's going to be. If you think that your game is going to live forever, just look at Sonic the Hedgehog. Just look at Super Mario. While these have had titles that have lasted at like insane amounts of time, their player base and each individual game in itself has died at some point or another. And now you look at the likes of like a Fortnite and a Minecraft that seem to have an infinite shelf life, but in reality, they too have an expiration date. It's just unforeseeable at the moment. This game is in no way, shape, or form a giant blockbuster. It's not the biggest game. It's not gonna put you in the top even 100 top streamers on Twitch. Not even close. And
That's with everyone watching you, every single person on Call of the
yeah, if
Wild.
everyone on Call of the Wild just only watched one person, that person would still not even be probably in the top 300, to be honest with you. Now, with that being said, what are you going to do when Call of the Wild dies? And then we're going to do dislikes. But I meant to ask you this earlier. What do you do after Call of the Wild? Because you're an actual gamer. You're not one of these niche, I can only play Call of the Wild. I am not going to try or do anything else. I've seen you on Apex. You're a monster. You're clearly a gamer. What are you going to do after?
Well, Apex is one thing, but I won't switch off to Apex. You know, I'm a big like you know, Alienation. They kind of do most of the leading. You know, if I plan on doing something, it's put to a vote before I do it.
Nice.
Usually, you know, it's within reason. So, like, you know, Apex, we voted on if I should play Apex. I love Apex, but at the same time, ultimately, it's them that have to watch it, um, and I want them to enjoy it. So, you know, if Call of the Wild were to die off, I'd buy a PS5, get the Way of the Hunter, and we would adjust from that. You know, if people want to see something else, we can vote on different games. You know, a bunch of the Alien Nation, they have downloaded Apex and started playing Apex
Yeah.
just in this past week since we
Yeah,
went back. So,
it's very beautiful to see actually. You
so
realize you're turning, no offense to you guys, but fuck off. You're turning dog shit Call of the Wild players into actual gamers. You realize this, right? Like these
yes,
motherfuckers are
sir.
about to be animals, bro. You start playing PvP and you start doing this religiously, you get competitive. Then you think, oh, well, I don't have any great ones. You've been playing Apex for a month. You're going to come back like, I'm fucking this shit up 20 great ones later. You know what I mean? Like these
Right,
dudes are
right.
about to be shooters, baby.
Yep. Yeah, so like, you know, if it comes down to Call of the Wild dying off, then I'll see what the community wants to do or where they want to go with it, you know what I mean? And
Obviously,
Apex
yeah,
will
that's
still be
awesome.
the mornings, you know, and uh yeah, and we'll see. I'd buy a PS5 because being a streamer, you got to be up to date with games. Whether it's a game that you'll never play, you know, you still try, especially as a small streamer, trying new games has such a high exposure rate that, well, I mean, hunting games, it's still higher, but it's not like crazy high. But let's say a new Apex came out, and it was on PS5 only. Me not being able to jump on that would be
Yes.
a massive fail.
True. True, true. You're only as good as the tools you got, realistically, like you
Right,
got dog shit tools, but you're a master craftsman, you're still gonna develop shit at the end of the day.
right,
I get that, and that's why me personally, like I wanted to get off PlayStation, but in reality, that's not why I got off PlayStation. I told my stream I wasn't gonna be able to get a PC for 10 years, so and that was realistic at the time. And like I said, this streaming shit has changed me completely. This non-job, no obligation ass of mine has been able to produce things that I never thought in my wildest dreams, like real talk.
right, right,
Um,
right.
I was gonna say, real quick, the alien nation may dictate what games he plays, but I don't want y'all antagonists getting any crazy ass ideas. Y'all be like, yo, go play some Apex. I'm gonna go tell you fuck yourself. We're playing Sea of Thieves, all right? It's what I want. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. So real quick, dislikes, man. Like I have a fuck ton. I'll let
Oh
you
yeah,
kind of lead the way because you like me are so opinionated and we have no fucking problem absolutely just speaking our minds and probably catching a bunch of fucked up shit for it, but who gives a fuck, at the end of the day.
right, right. Yeah, one of the biggest consistent dislikes that I've had since I started playing the game is EW, man. I think the way that I think their business choices are very, very poor. And I mean, my 6-year-old would run better business decisions than some of the decisions they've made. I think launching that update like they did, I mean, that says it all, dude. Like you guys launch an update, and then you're gonna go on vacation for 2 weeks while we crash the fuck out all day.
Yeah, that was really
Insane.
questionable
Um,
to say the least.
so EW, I think they need to learn to put a little faith. Like their community is fucking unreal, dude. It's
Yeah.
it's such an insane community, and then they put so little faith in it that it blows my mind that they back them. That they're still here. Um, so I think yeah, EW is my biggest issue with the game. I think they need to. I know it's a small company, but that doesn't matter. Overall, like if you build something, you're obligated to make that shit work right. Or if I build a house, can it fall down in 10 years? Like,
I
is that
mean,
is that what it's
realistically, that's actually a really good way of looking at it. And ironically, I don't know if you know this, but Among Us was created by one person. Literally
really?
one, yeah, it was one person. He created Among Us and he had no idea what it was going to turn into. And it got so out of control. Like so many people wanted to play it that the server just kept crashing and crashing and crashing. And he ended up having to get more servers and he ended up hiring another person. Now, ironically, I just said he hired another person. I didn't say he hired an entire staff. And when
Just
that
one
shit was
person.
exactly when that was booming, those two guys were able to take what was a great game that was just absolutely just fucking up and make it sustainable, listen to the community and built on it. And obviously, Among Us, like I said, everything has a shelf life. Among Us is kind of one of those niche, kind of one hit wonders. Well, who knows what they'll end up doing in the future? But for now, it's like it's not what it was, but it's still good. And
Right, right,
with me even saying like games will die, like in reality, even Call of the Wild, and this is the upside to Call of the Wild, actually, um, is that you could play it offline. You don't have to be online. So technically, the game doesn't actually have to ever truly die in that sense. Like if you
right. You
wanted to,
only
you could just
play it
stream it
forever.
offline. Yeah, you could technically play it forever, but inevitably, you know, such is life, things just kind of
Right.
come and go and it becomes
It'll be
a matter of
irrelevant at the
what's
end of the day.
next. Right. So ironically with your dislikes, I'm surprised because like for me, I would say one of my biggest dislikes is when I run up and jump in a tripod, why is my heart rate never going down? Ever. It never goes down.
So hang on. So before this last update, right? This the newest update.
Hmm.
After the update before that, did that still happen to you?
I still have it happen to me. The fuck?
No, I know now it does. So like
Oh,
so
yeah, it
when I
happened before.
started, it happened to me for a long time. Then they
Hmm.
came out with the update. um, back in February or March or whatever, and I didn't have it happen to me after that. And to me, it feels like this last update, like even when they're in the water, they stopped flipping around and looking all crazy and shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Now they do it again. I
Oh, I
feel
haven't noticed.
like they they reverted the update back to its original state, added a map, and changed the birds in a great one. And then that's the update. So it looks different, even though it's like a previous update. That's what it looks like. It looks like the game that I started
Yeah.
8 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually wild. I didn't honestly. I try so fucking hard to not have my animals in the water because I hate waiting for them to come.
I know it
Since
takes
my
so
sorry
long.
ass fucking hunter can't run or swim, apparently.
But birds fly at fucking Mach speed in
Mach
the water, dude.
speed now,
Yeah,
dude. Bro, they're so
and in the
fast,
air.
like it's actually insane. I'm like, I go to Reventuli trying to shoot them out of the sky. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like scattering and shit. I'm like, yo, how
Right.
am I supposed to shoot these? Like, y'all are crazy. I hit one. I was like, I'm a god. I'm a fucking god. Yeah,
I would
that.
say the
Go ahead.
the most irritating thing for me in game is the red deer maps, Quattro and Teowara. They
Hmm.
get these lag spikes. And they're really fucking bad. I don't know if it's just red deer related, but I'll take a shot at one red deer and I'll be trying to lay down 4, 5, or 6 of them. I'll take a shot, catch a lag spike. By the time I come out of it and can use my scope again, the fucking deer are all running around. So then it's like, well, there goes 3 fucking kills, Because usually you can drop 3 or 4 of them before they start running.
I've always had this issue where I shoot too fast and I'll shoot and then get on target. Like, low key, my recoil control is pretty insane. And even on console, is like I'll shoot and then be on my next target and go to shoot and it won't pull the trigger, you know? So it's
Well, that's,
like,
yeah.
so I'm like, yo, and that's just, I think that's more me than the game. That's just me just
I
trying
don't
to
know. That
fucking mow
happens to me
things
too
down.
when I get those lag spikes. Now I'm sure that they're probably maybe not as bad on PC, but that's probably what it's happening. You just don't see it visually as much as I do. But and I could hook it up to the best. At my mom's, she's got 200 meg download and 100 meg upload, and I still get the lag spikes at my mom's. So it's not my internet or nothing.
Listen, I just want to say that 200 meg upload or download, you probably don't want to ever say that out loud again. That's actually really bad. But I respect it.
Well, that's for Call of the Wild, dude. That'll fucking I
Downloads
could
are
run
relevant.
an entire PC stream, any
Yeah.
game off of a 200 meg down and
Well, 100
100
up
meg
is
up.
insane. Like that's great. That's that's more than enough than to do anything. You're absolutely right. Um, I would say like so I said jumping into the tripods. One of my biggest dislikes, I have two of them, is why did EW put out a survey for the next great one and then not give us anything from the survey, just to turn around and tell us that they had already created the great one and they were asking for the next great one, when in reality that's like telling your kids, if you do these chores, you can have ice cream, and then they finish their chores, and then you go, well, I already ate the ice cream, or I meant you can have ice cream when you're 16, but you're
Right.
12.
Or
So
the
wait
next
4
time you
years.
do
Yeah,
chores.
next time you do chores. Right. So it's like, that was a big fuck up for me. I was like, I lost a lot of faith at that point, and I was just like,
Yeah.
you know what? You guys can go fuck yourselves. Like, actively go fuck yourselves. Like, that was so
Yeah.
fucked up in my opinion. And so they did that, and then there was the lodges. What the fuck? Why did we fix lodges? Fix, quote
Yeah.
unquote, fix. Like, hello? You have a backpack glitch. You have an infinite tent and infinite tripod glitch, both currently active, and you fix the one thing that we need you to actually fix and make it so we could play shit? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what?
Yeah. Dude, I didn't know about that, so I was gonna make a great one lodge and then have like, just some dimes and shit, all the great ones. Bears, whitetail, red deer in one lodge. And then the dimes and rares and stuff spread out through the plaques. And I pulled my great ones for the update, for one. And then
Oh,
I started pulling my dimes down before I knew what had happened. Well, next thing you know, half my fucking lodge is in my inventory and I couldn't place anything. I
Mm.
was fucking pissed, dude. I was like, no fucking way, dude. Oh my god.
That was the biggest botch on EW's part right there,
Yeah.
were those two things, in my opinion. I always feel like one of the biggest mistakes a game company can make is not listening to its community.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, and
make the
they always
game, we
give you
play the game, you
right.
know?
They always give you half the story, and that's another issue. You know, like with the great ones, they gave out the survey, but instead of saying like, "Hey, we want to know for great ones in the future beyond this, what you guys think a good great one would be," and they just give you half the information and then tell you after it's already done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Low key.
And I don't know why they did that survey because they're gonna do a great one off of Hirschfelden and Layton. So they had elk. Didn't they have Rocky Mountain elk in one of those surveys?
I don't remember which elk it was, to be fair.
I thought it was Rocky Mountain. But if any of those animals weren't on Hirschfelden and Layton, they basically already if you know said fuck you anyway because it's gonna be on Hirschfelden. Well, it'll be on Hirschfelden next one. Because they're going back and back and forth.
Yeah.
They got what? They've got,
Two off
black
Leighton.
bear yeah, they've got black bear and whitetail off of Layton, and they've got red deer off of Hirschfelden. So the next animal, my guess would be a predator because they brought a predator badge. So I would assume they're gonna do 2 and 2, and it's gonna be off for Hirschfelden.
What's the
Now,
predator
had
on
I thought about
Hirschfelden?
that stuff in the beginning, we probably could have narrowed down black bear really, really early on, but,
Here's the thing
uh
for me personally. Like, this whole these animals need to come off of the base maps shit is actually very annoying. I don't like it. I think it's fucking absolutely -5 brain as fuck. I think that
right,
with each new map, they have created a map basically around a specific species, whether it's for the, multiple species for the region or whatever it may be. You got raccoons and alligators on Mississippi. Why not just create a great one per map, which would
right,
incentivize people to buy those maps? And then you would be, at this point, you would have a plethora of great ones. And it would make life not only a lot easier, but it would make our grinds absolutely insane. So now instead of us all hunting SRP for this black bear, you'd have this guy who's the Mississippi guy and this guy who's the Savannah guy. Imagine a fucking lion, bro. A great one lion. Oh, you want to talk about a
right.
predator? Give me that.
Yeah, it's another poor business decision on their part, and I think their thought process in that is like, it's helping the community because you don't have to buy a map to hunt great ones, but at the same time, like, there's already great ones that they can hunt,
Yes,
so you should be
exactly.
adding them to other maps. Like, the first couple I can see, Hirschfeld Layton, then
Yes,
start bumping them into
yes.
other maps, you know?
I think with each new map needs to be a new great one.
Yeah,
That should
that's a
be
great
the
business idea.
selling point easily. Hey guys, new map.
They need to hire
Boom.
you as the business manager, dude.
Oh, EW hates me.
Somebody's gotta get in there and fix that
Oh
shit.
no no no. I just found out actually. This is an fuck it dislike. I just found out actually from a former EW content creator that EW actually has a blacklist. Believe it or not, like of people that either they don't want you to support, or they will not consider an application, or they will not give you early access or promote you in any way, shape, or form. And I am very, very confident that I am on that list after I had some choice words about apparently a content creator, which is ironic. Like, you can't have an opinion. Listen, at the end of the day, it's really simple. Us as people, and the whole point of doing this is to kind of show not just the community, but EW as well, that we all have an opinion. And ironically, when I asked UFOs what was his dislikes, he didn't go to the game. It wasn't the dislikes of the game, it was dislikes of management decisions from EW. So ironically, it kind of goes hand in hand. It's like, all right, look, you want to silence me for my opinion, but in reality, you need to realize that people have opinions. Like, I'm not meant to like everyone, and not everyone's meant to like me, and not everyone's going to like UFOs, and not everyone's going to like Zombie Man, And if that's the case, so fucking be it. We're here to exist and do our own thing, and don't try to change individuality. Individuality is originality. If we were all the same and conform to some single cell, single mind idea, imagine how fucking boring life would be. It would
Right.
suck.
Right.
You know what I
You
mean?
know what
Like
I've noticed? I've noticed more people are scared of the truth than they are the opinion itself. You know what I mean? Like
facts.
it's not the fact that it's somebody who has an opinion that, like me. I don't think EW is that great of a company that, you know, to deserve the community that they have. But that's my opinion. I think they're more scared of people's opinions because they're true. 90% of the time. You know.
Right. You know, it's tough. You know, when you're not scared to speak your mind, it becomes a gray area, like what is true versus what's an opinion. And that's why, like, I've always lived by like this rule, like, uh don't preach it if you can't practice it, type of shit. I
Right.
mean, you as a somebody who refined his life and found sobriety, like, you probably understand this probably better than anyone. Like, you aren't going to get sober and stay sober if you surround yourself with drug addicts and alcoholics. Your sponsor has to be clean himself in order to help you do that. And
Right.
now that you've gotten over those leaps in your own life, you can now help the next man in line who may be struggling with, say, something like that. And
Right.
I think that's, for me, like, personally, like, something that I say a lot of crazy shit, and I may say this person's wrong for these reasons, but in reality, I'm saying it because it's something that not only would I not do, but morally I know it's not right. You know, when I
Right.
look at it, like, I've seen some behind the scenes cancel culture shit. I don't like cancel culture. I don't like mob mentality. I do believe in individuality. I understand that there are sheep in the world, but when it comes to sheep, do not manipulate them, because in
Right.
reality they need to be led. And when I see a manipulator manipulating sheep, I am a fucking wolf looking to literally take down your pack leader. I don't give a
Right.
fuck,
Yeah, I
like,
never
at all.
understood that about people. I don't know why instead of attacking somebody, why don't you help them see it from see it from the other side of things, instead of being like, wow, why would the fuck would this person do this? He's such a fucking tool, whatever, blah blah blah. Instead of like going at it that way, why not be like, hey, yo, you fucked up, maybe look at it like, you shouldn't do this or that, and maybe, help them fix the situation and remedy it rather than creating more chaos to it.
Very
I don't
true.
I don't I don't like the cancel culture shit either. But it's here. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, like, I just read a comment in chat, and no lie, I like everyone in this whole community. And ironically, I fell a victim of the liking everyone in the community right out the gate too. But as I dabbled and met people and, like, other streamers and even people who aren't in this community anymore, I learned the dark side of everything. And as I started to kind of see it for myself, it was kind of like I started to become a little bit more, I'm going to just do me, and let's just kind of see what the fuck happens. You know what I mean? So, like, without getting too in detail as to some of that shit, insidious type shit, I'll just say this: if you're in this community as a streamer, do keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, and just keep your mind on your own goals, and definitely, like, don't like become reclusive or seclude yourself from anything, but keep your guard up, because, like, a lot of people are smile in your face, talk shit behind your back, and I'm kind of getting to a point to where I'm just over it. I'm like, all right, you know what? I could play this game. The difference is I'll talk shit to your face and talk shit behind your back at the same exact time.
Right.
Like,
Right.
go fuck
Right.
yourself. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty simple. Um, Real quick. I think this has gone swimmingly, low key. It went a little
Yeah,
bit
dude.
longer than I wanted to, but I want to say, does chat have any questions that they may want to ask, say, myself or UFOs? And if you do, can you highlight your message and at the person that you would like to ask the question to, so that you know it's a little bit easier. And if you're just gonna troll, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I click real hard with, like, I don't know, I stay in my lane and I just I don't know, I have this, like, connection with people that are a lot more genuine, than others, and I don't I've always been that way. Like, I've never, like, clicked with somebody, uh, on a genuine level unless they were, like, real, you know what I mean? I don't
I do.
I don't know, it must
I'm
be,
one of those weird people. Like, I think it's from being from California and not being like a little snowflake bitch. Is I can read people so fucking well. It's like scary. It's like actually scary. Like I can almost tell within 2 minutes of meeting you, like if I'm gonna even fuck with you or not. And I'm like, I will admit, like I'm very forgiving. Like I know a lot of people, like sometimes people will do something that's just absolutely stupid, but they do it from a place of ignorance. Where I know in law, ignorance is not innocence, but when it comes to life and judging people, which I really don't like judging anyone because I don't feel like it's my place in life to do this. But like, I do notice that, like, if somebody does something ignorant, but innocently at the same time, it's like I can't really like condemn them for their actions. Like, I can't really tell them, hey, you're fucking up, but I will tell them, like, hey, maybe, I'll kind of bring it up in a nonchalant, try to be as nice way as possible because, like I said, like people are people, it kind of is what it is. Um,
right.
so I said,
Everybody gets judgy. The difference is if you can realize that you're doing it and, fix it, you know what I mean?
no, true. A lot of people don't, a lot of people are complacent, like they'll live with
Right.
their mistakes. They'll, if they'll walk the fucking, the most traveled path to go nowhere repeatedly, and they'll act as if whatever they're doing is acceptable even when countless people are telling them not to, I said I wasn't going to take any troll questions, but I think this is a fair question. Ambu Draven wants to know, how did you two get so sexy? You tell me first. I would like to know how you got so sexy.
I just stole another human's face, dude.
Yo, hello.
I got to pick, man.
That's
You
fucking
guys are all born
crazy.
you guys are all born with your faces. I got to pick the one that I wanted.
Oh, well, I could tell you straight up how I got so sexy. I'm not, bitch. Sad Cat says, I love you both. No, we love you, man. All right, so Raygun says, what do you think the future of streaming looks like for both of you? Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, for me, it's like, I'm always one of those people that's like, I was telling UFOs this earlier. I always pay homage to things that came before me. So this is how I could tell you right now, I'll never go Hollywood. I'm from Hollywood. I worked in the movie industry. I've made 6 figures, easy. And I told UFOs, I didn't even move out of the hood. Like he used the flip phone. I used the fucking my Motorola with a light up antenna that played Snake, even as like the chirps were
The
Motorola
old
chirps and all
Nokia.
that shit were popping. Like I didn't upgrade my life. That money after I got out that industry, that money lasted me years. Like living the way that I did. I didn't like start eating flaming yawn, ramen packets and fucking Jack in the Box for life, humble beginnings will ultimately keep you stabilized at the end of the day. So for me, I started off a multi streamer, and I don't plan on changing that. I will be a variety streamer no matter what. Also, like personality wise, like I'm sure I'll probably, if anything, keep getting crazier just because I'm gonna go senile at some fucking point. Also, it's just kind of in my character to just be a little bit crazy. And that's another thing. When I say in my character, I don't mean like when you see me on stream, I'm a character. This person you see on stream is 10 times worse in real life, in fact. 10 times worse in real life. When I first met Rapunzel's mom, she was like, oh, well, I'm going to be in here, doing the food. You guys go out there and you guys go do you. And I was like, so you're going to be in here doing you, and we're going to be out there doing us. And at some point, we're going to do each other. And she was like, that didn't sound right. And I was like, yo, the fact that she was so cool about it, I was like, hey, yo, let's go. You know, it was kind of funny because that's the way I am. Like, I'm going to say some crazy shit because I just want to see your reaction and hopefully make you laugh in real life. Like, real talk. That's just the way I am.
Right.
So, where do you see your stream going in the future?
I mean, I think consistency is huge. I've got rules that I apply to my stream, and I think they're extremely effective. Um,
I
and
agree.
I think both me and NTAG in the short amount of time that we've both been streaming, like to get to where we are now, you got to be really fortunate and good at what you're doing. So
You got
I
to
mean, I
work
think,
hard.
yeah, I think growth is the future, and I think eventually, someday, hopefully, maybe, we'll be on that front page
Maybe.
of Twitch.
Maybe. You already know my mentality, bro. I'm taking you with
Right.
me, baby. I'm taking
Yes,
everyone
sir.
with me. Yo, I ain't forgetting. I ain't forgetting shit. So to kind of touch back on that, like real quick, I'll show you. I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Everything about my stream is to pay homage to the reason why I ever downloaded Twitch. Okay, it's really simple. My bits alert is from Ninja when I first started watching Twitch. My sub alert for 5 gifted is Tim the Tatman. The color scheme of my channel is Dr. Disrespect. The hats, why I always wear the hats. If you guys think I'm ashamed of my hairline, go fuck yourself. I'm not. The hats is Summit 1G. The duck emote is homage to the first game that I got affiliate on. And one day I hope that I can look at chat, have to put it in slow mode because there's so many of you guys being crazy, being sub only chat, and be able to say, Zombie Man, Ray Gun, Robot Boy, Killing UFO. These motherfuckers were here when we were at the bottom, the quote unquote bottom, when we were the quote unquote small streamers of Call of the Wild. Like, I want to be able to pay homage to the people that got us to where we're trying to go. And I'll never forget, like, real talk. UFO's main man says, NTAG, UFOs, what do you
I think it looks good. I think it's going to be a good game, and I think a lot of people get the idea that it's going to cancel out Call of the Wild, and I don't think that's the case because it's two completely different games. I think it will cancel out Classic. Um, I do think it's going to be a good game, but it's hard to know as far as the extent of how good the game is until we're in it for a little bit. You know what I mean? It hasn't even released. But I think right out the gate, I think it looks amazing. I think it's going to be slow paced, and that I think will drop off some people like me. I like the fast paced games. I could get into grinding on the Way of the Hunter, and it just dropped. So, Call of the Wild, do you think people were grinding Call of the Wild like they are now when it launched? No.
Nope.
It was a slow paced game when it started.
It still can be technically if you don't know how to grind.
Right. Even when I started, I probably the first few days before I started my first Red Deer grind, I'd probably actually picked up like a dozen animals
Right.
running around for days. You know what I mean? So like, I think there's a lot to see yet. But I think with what we see now, I do think it's a good game. I think it'll stick around. I think it's about time another company, steps side by side with EW so they can maybe think about getting their shit together. Overall,
Well, ironically, I agree with what you said about the whole when we first started playing the game, we didn't grind and we ran around and didn't really know shit from Shinola, and we were just kind of like out here shit from Shinola, old man reference, by the way. We were just kind of running around shooting stuff, And ironically, I've heard and I've seen streams where like they're saying like, oh, it's slower paced, it's this, it's that, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, you've been playing this game actively for like a couple of days. Like, you
right,
don't know. And ironically, today I find out that they don't have tents, but they have campsites. And guess what
right,
you do at the campsites? You change the time and you teleport. Wow, isn't that ironic? And they say you can't grind the game. Well, these campsites are in regions. Well, according to the developers of Way of the Hunter, they say that animal species, you're going to have to learn their patterns as well as their regions. So what that means is you find out what region said animal is, you could spot it, you can mark it, you can literally say that this is where this species is where you spotted them. You can literally go back there and see that same herd migrating through. That sounds like farmland to me. I'm sorry, I'm ready to farm that.
I think what's gonna slow it down though is the realistic process behind building the dying of old age, the
Yes,
way
that's
they
perfect though.
breed and born and like
I've thought about
I think
this.
that will slow it down a little bit. But like ultimately, I think eventually people will break it like they broke Call of the Wild.
I'm
I
going
think it's
to
just
break
gonna
it.
take time to get there.
I already know how I'm going to break it. It's so ironic. So when you go into a great one grind, do you have a great one already? Okay, initial spawn, cool, fine. But let's say outside of that, you're going to grind for that next one, right? Well, what's the difference? So you're going to shoot your little shitters out of the herds. So you're not going to get anything great. So just harvest that meat, sell that meat. You're going to shoot the little shitters out. What happens when you create a monster herd? The whole herd, the whole family's beefed. They're beefed the fuck up, right? Okay, so daddy dies. Cool. His son is a monster, and his daughter's a monster, and the mama's a monster, and their cousins look like monsters. They're still breeding monsters, you know what I mean? So by the logic of Way of the Hunter, you can create a monster herd that will ultimately reproduce monster babies pretty much forever, if you think about it, and as long as you're not overindulgent, you just go pluck your one or two and move on and let that monster herd just keep
What's
living.
the slower pace though is the
Yes.
plucking one or two rather than shooting 30 off a lake.
Obviously, yes, I completely can see that for sure, for sure. But that's where I think the teleportation, going around and managing your herds becomes kind of interesting. So instead of you going, I'm going for my whitetail, you're actually going to make monster herds. Your goal is going to be, let's make these elk bigger. Now let's go make these black bear bigger. Let's go make these whitetail bigger. And as you're kind of going around plucking from each pile, eventually you're going to end up with these massive animals. And what I think is a huge thing that's not being talked about enough is that the average map, in case you guys don't know, the average map of Call of the Wild is 10 kilometers by 10 kilometers. And you have an ATV that's really dog shit to travel across it, where Way of the Hunter is a 65 kilometer by 65 kilometer map that you have a fucking Jeep that will power through some fucking hills like it's nothing. Also, another thing that's not really being talked about is that Way of the Hunter has 2 editions. I bought Ultimate Edition, to be fair, because it came with whatever this supposed battle pass or whatever it is supposed to be, as well as 2 additional maps, which tells you that there's going to be 2 more, and each, according to them, each of those maps is also going to be 65 kilometers by 65 kilometers.
Yeah, that'll
That's
be
a
a base
lot.
size, I assume.
Yeah, that's GTA worlds. You know what I mean? Those are GTA size maps. That's a lot to
Right.
explore, a lot to do. And yes, I do think it'll be slower pace by default, but I'll take a beautiful aesthetic, a nice looking game, well polished over the fact that I shoot red deer, I see a 7, I know it's a 7. I see a troll, I know it's a troll, where now you're going to actually have completely randomized wonkiness to these racks. Some will be true, they'll be matching, and some will just be completely goofy, lopsided. And I saw
Have they
that in
said if
the
they've got great ones, or do they just grow to be big?
um from what I've seen, I've just seen star ratings. So apparently I think 5
Those are the
stars
diamonds,
might
I would
be
assume
their
that would be a
biggest. Yeah, I'm not
okay.
really
But
sure
that's,
about great
the big
ones.
Call of the Wild didn't have great ones when they started. That stuff can all get introduced later. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll just be a slightly different play style.
So Flinter fan says, UFOs, are you an alien or human? I feel like we all know the answer to this. Go ahead. Are you alien or human?
Oh, all alien, dude. All alien.
All
I
alien,
just take the
baby.
skin tone paint off from the top of my head to the neck.
Alien penis and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then I leave
see.
the skin tone paint on the rest of my body so I don't have to paint it when I go outside.
I see a first time chatter. Their name is Mama UFO.
That's the old lady, yeah.
Hey, old lady. Yo, don't call her that.
Well,
You
I
mean
see.
that young,
I've always
beautiful
called her that.
woman?
Yes. No, it's not old, ol, like with an E,
Oh, okay.
OLE.
Okay, so like old people would say, "Ol." All right,
Yeah,
yo,
I've
Shotzi.
always said it.
Shotzi, I love Shotzi, man. This young man, as young as he is, so mature. Really good
I
question,
know,
actually.
dude.
He says, UFOs, does your streaming all the time affect your relationships with your family?
Yeah, I see some of my family a little less right now. Not my, not my old lady and kids and stuff. I still see them the regular basis, but I was going to my mom's every other weekend when I had my son. Um, and that's kind of well, and my car's been kind of shit, and that's going to change here soon, and I'll be going out there when I go framing. But yeah, I've seen them a little bit less on the weekends. I don't go out there as much. And when I do, I bring my stream with me to stream out there. Ultimately, the goal is to get enough growth to where that's not the case. You know what I mean?
It's
But
ironic.
Ntag will tell you missing one scheduled stream can impact the stream so negatively.
True.
Beyond financial and everything else. Like you might miss something on that specific stream that would have changed the entirety of the stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking about this earlier with Keeper, actually. It's ironic. Um, Actually, I'm going to turn this into a two-part because I got a continuation of this. UFO's main man says, UFOs, are you ever going to get your own stream room?
Hopefully someday, man. Not for a long time. I can't even get into a fucking place right now. I still got, I've been sober. It'll be what maybe 7 years in February, and I'm still. I can't. I get turned down for every application for any place. Just because of past. So I mean, we fucking might end up at my mom's here in a month or two to try to wait that shit out. But if I ever can get a house, and get that shit squared away, yeah, that'll be the goal.
Of course, naturally. Yo, low key. Um, I always say this, man. Like, life challenges you literally so that you can overcome it. Like, if life didn't challenge you and life was simple, the saying wouldn't be life's a bitch. It would be life's a slut. But it's not.
Right. You said
So
that the other day. It's very true.
it's something that I read when I was a kid, like as a meme, and it stuck with me because of the reality and kind of what we were talking about with goals. You set goals, you may not achieve reaching the stars, but like I said, you crash into a moon. At the end of the day, uh, you're gonna come out on top of whatever this is you're facing right now because of the fact that you have incredible perseverance and your desire to always self improve, which is something we talked about how people don't have this. You will get to wherever it is you're trying to go. It may take a little longer. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you just keep doing you, my man. Like, don't stop.
Right.
And real shit, like, as your community and all of this starts to grow, like, you will get another opportunity, maybe like me with the PC, like something so unforeseeable will happen and you're going to be like, wow, I did not think that this would even be possible, you know? So don't stress it. Sometimes you take 2 steps back to go 10 steps forward. And sometimes
Right.
you take 2 steps back and you take 10 steps farther back. But it doesn't matter how deep that hole is. Once you hit the bottom, you can only go up. And you are far from the bottom, my friend. A beautiful family. Uh, you know, incredible things you've done with your stream. Insurmountably unbelievable how fast you've done the things you've done with your community and your stream. Um, and I was gonna hit you with that two-part, but like with what you just said, kind of answered my question. My question was gonna be, when's that PC coming? But I know
Yeah.
that financially and all that. But here, trip out on this. Mentally, I think you have convinced yourself that a PC is so out of your reach as financially that it's preposterous to get one. In fact, Rapunzel, when she wanted a new PC, this was her mindset too. In case you guys don't know, Rapunzel's my girlfriend, and I put her on to the PC that I had got. And when she went to look at it, guess what? It was $400 cheaper.
I spent more on the laptop I have right now.
Well,
Oh, $400 cheaper.
cheaper
Okay.
than what I got it for. So PC monitor everything came out to about 2,000. She ended up spending, I think, roughly 1,200.
Was that with a monitor?
Well, she already had a monitor.
Okay, because I've already got a monitor, so that would
So
be
you're
around
good.
what I.
So you'd spend maybe 1,200. In fact, you probably can get it cheaper at this point. Realistically,
Right.
it's not the greatest PC ever, but the upgrades that you would need for it are so cheap in comparison that you would be good to go. You would literally get this PC, slap in some new RAM, and you're fucking flying, my boy. I mean flying. You would go from and this is the thing about PC versus say you go into console is once you go to PC, you're not as limited in your range anymore. Also, you bring more power to your stream, and that was big for me. Like I said, my community helped me get it, and I can guarantee your community will help you achieve anything that you're trying to do, whether it's build a new UFO so you can get off planet before the apocalypse or a new PC. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure
Right,
that they would dump their paychecks into you getting the new UFO and getting off planet before they would take their money to get on one of those Elon Musk rocket ships. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I got faith, man. I do. And I know I'll get to the PC. It's just that, I should instead of buying the laptop when I bought it, I should have just bought the PC then. Because I mean, I spent $600 on the laptop, so it was half the cost right there. But it's like, just so much other shit. Um, I've been sinking everything I got into, like getting the car running. But ultimately, I'll be framing, and we're talking, even if I frame 2 days for 24 hours, the pay from that is more just extra pay than I have right now. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So if we're living right now with what we have, then I can live right now with what we have a little bit past working. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
absolutely. A little extra will always go a long way. You know what I mean?
Right,
Um,
right.
is there anything that you would like to add or say to your community or just in general?
Man, dude, all you guys that are in here that show up at the stream every day, whether it's Apex or Call of the Wild or fucking just chatting or not that we've done that recently, but either way, you guys literally we were in Apex and I've been scared to go to Apex. And the other day when we were playing with NTAG, we were in Apex and we were at 37 viewers. The fact that all of you guys from the Call of the Wild community that have joined the Alien Nation stuck with me playing another game blows my fucking mind. And dude, I can't thank you guys enough. Like, at the part that I'm at with streaming, the viewership goes further than anything else does.
Yeah, and it's only gonna
In the
grow.
long run.
It's definitely only gonna
Um,
grow.
right. What's your dream or goal you want to reach in streaming? I mean, Mad Cash ultimately is to be a successful full-time streamer. Now, my definition of success might be different than somebody else's definition of success. But I think full-time streaming says it all, you know what I mean? I'm a full-time streamer right now, but and not that I'm a bad streamer, I'm not a successful streamer yet.
You're basically saying like kind of what like we were talking about like front page streamer,
Yeah.
like doing something.
Yeah.
For me it's like I'll be honest, I've told this to say I think it was Zombie Dak and I want to say Mullet Poppy, also known as Samilton now, like something to this extent. My goal isn't to have a handful of people overindulging me in bits and subs. My goal would be more to have like 1,000 viewers, potentially completely unsubbed, ad revenue in itself being able to sustain life.
Yes,
That way,
sir.
Twitch has to pay me the paycheck and not my
Yes,
community.
sir.
If I can
Yes,
get
sir.
Twitch to that point, then I would just fucking sub my own community.
Preach it, dude.
Like
Fucking
that's
yeah.
kind of where I would like mentally to
That
be.
is
But
that is
I'll
just
keep
it,
it
man.
real. Um on this whole talking wild note, um this whole talking wild experience is going to be something I want to do weekly, and I want to interview a plethora of people, not just content creators or streamers, even people a part of the community, people that play the game, the unspoken voices that are never heard because they're buried in a chat, or they're, you know, not streaming, or whatever the case is. The ultimate goal as far as doing talking wild is to just get to know each other on a different level, and kind of like what we did with the dislikes and likes. Hopefully eventually EW will take notice that there's going to probably be similarities in terms of what people want changed, or people like or dislike. So hopefully they can open their own eyes to understanding that they can be better even with a small staff team. And I'm not going to just do Talking Wild for Call of the Wild. Sometimes we're going to be sectioned in just chatting or wherever it may lead us. I want to round table it. I want to get a few of us on at a time, maybe just general discussion it. The future of this stream will look, or this segment will look entirely different. But with that being said, I posted right below his beautiful face his TikTok and his Twitch. You can follow Killing UFOs, twitch.tv/killing_UFOs. If you want to see him on Twitch, he posts TikTok content quite regularly. He's asked me recently to edit a TikTok for him, which I will be working on.
My clips are good, but the edits are so bad.
He's not wrong.
You know,
he's not wrong. It's his only kryptonite right now is that he's still posting them long ways, which is fine. You know, it doesn't really matter how you post it as long as the content's good. And he is very good at what he does. If you're not following him, please do. Also, I appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out, both from Killing UFOs, beautiful Alien Nation, as well as the Antagonation that came here live. Like I said, these podcasts are going to be recorded live on Twitch, but ultimately they will end up on YouTube, so you guys can go catch up on it. You can watch it again later, whatever the case is. I appreciate all the love and support, and that would pretty much conclude this. You got anything else you want to say?
No, man. Thanks for having me on, dude.
Nah,
And
it was really my
all the love
pleasure.
and everything, you know.
Real talk. I told you I had another person in mind, but after I sat down and I had a discussion, it only made sense to bring you as a former PlayStation player to a current PlayStation player who both of our communities insurmountably grew through Call of the Wild. It only made sense that me and you do this, link up, and, you know, kick this shit off right. Also,
hell yeah, dude.
I knew you would be more open to just general discussion and just speaking your mind. And I kind of wanted other content creators, you know, the big Call of the Wild streamers, and even EW and Jaxie himself, to kind of take note that, like, the idea of this isn't to slander anything Call of the Wild related or, you know, EW related. It's more or less just to be able to have opinions and not be slandered for it. In fact, I would like to thank Jaxie for inspiring this. Thank you, Jaxie. I love you. On that note, I bid you guys adieu. Check out the YouTube. If you don't know, it should be somewhere in my profile down here. God knows where it is. I love you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.